Hey, what is up? This is Mr. Showtime or Jacob Meadows with the Coach's Quarters. Just like I stated on my previous episode, I'm going to start dropping a gambling podcast every Saturday covering the Sunday Monday games. I'm not touching Thursdays, but it is going to be for the Sunday Mondays. So we're going to dive right into it. This is going to be a super quick show. I'm not going to give any analysis. I'm just going to take my picks. I do not gamble money line. None of these picks are for money line. I don't enjoy that whatsoever. So this is going to be the covers and the over and the under, right? So diving right in, first game on the slate. This is all pulled off of ESPN, and these numbers are all apt to change. You know, the gambling lines move all the way up until the games actually begin. So take this with a grain of salt. And if the numbers were to shift, right, some of these may not necessarily be what the picks I would take in Vegas the day of the game. But this is what I have available to me right now. So first game on the slate is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to take Las Vegas +8, and I'm going to take the over at 47 total points. Next game, Baltimore versus Cincinnati. I'm going to take the Ravens at +3 with the over at 46.5 total points. Kansas City versus Jacksonville. I'm going to take Jacksonville +3 points with the under at 51. I'm the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Tennessee Titans. I am taking the Chargers -2.5 points and the under at 45.5. Green Bay versus the Atlanta Falcons. I am taking Green Bay +1.5 points and the over at 40 total points. Seattle versus Detroit. I am taking the Seahawks at +4.5 points and the over at 47 total points. Indianapolis versus Houston. This is going to be a wild one for me because I thought Houston was going to get this sweep, but I'm taking Indianapolis +1 and the under at 39.5 points. Chicago versus Tampa Bay. I am taking Chicago at +2.5 and the over at 41 points. The New York Giants versus the Arizona Cardinals. I am taking the Giants -4 despite the disaster of last week with the over at 39.5 points. San Francisco versus the Los Angeles Rams. I am taking the Rams +7 and the under at 45.5 points. The New York Jets versus the Dallas Cowboys. I am taking Dallas at -8.5 points and the under at 38.5. The Washington Commanders versus the Denver Broncos. I am taking Washington +3.5 and the over at 38.5 points. Miami versus New England. I am taking Miami versus New England. I am taking Miami at -2.5 points and the over at 46.5 points. You have New Orleans versus Carolina. I am taking New Orleans -3 and the under at 39.5 points. And to wrap up week 2's gambling, you have the Cleveland Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am taking Cleveland -2.5 and the over at 38.5 points.